Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of The Longing. I'm recording this a little bit earlier today, just because I'm busy this evening. So, regardless, let's continue. We're going to be finishing off The Wind in the Willows most likely today. And then I may as well reverse time a little bit, just so that we've got that to play with. And then we'll think about what happens after that later. So, let's get going. All the animals cheered when he entered, and crowded round to congratulate him and say nice things about his courage, and his cleverness, and his fighting qualities. But Toad only smiled faintly and murmured, "Not at all, or sometimes for a change. On the contrary." Otter, who was standing on the hearthrug describing to an admiring circle of friends exactly how he would have managed things had he been there, came forward with a shout, threw his arm round Toad's neck, and tried to take him round the room in triumphal progress. But Toad, in a mild way, was rather snubby to him, remarking gently as he disengaged himself, "Badgers was the mastermind. The mole and the water rat bore the brunt of the fighting. I merely served in the ranks and did little or nothing." The animals were evidently puzzled and taken aback by this unexpected attitude of his, and Toad felt, as he moved from one guest to the other, making his modest responses, that he was an object of absorbing interest to everyone. The Badger had ordered everything of the best, and the banquet was a great success. There was much talking and laughter and chaff among the animals, but through it all, Toad, who, of course, was in the chair, looked down his nose and murmured pleasant nothings to the animals on either side of him. At intervals he stole a glance at the Badger and the Rat, and always when he looked, they were staring at each other with their mouths open, and this gave him the greatest satisfaction. Some of the younger and livelier animals, as the evening wore on, got whispering to each other that things were not so amusing as they used to be in the good old days, and there were some knockings on the table and cries of "Toad, speech! Speech from Toad! Song! Mr. Toad's song!" But Toad only shook his head gently, raised one paw in mild protest, and, by pressing delicacies on his guests, by topical small talk, and by earnest inquiries after members of their families not yet old enough to appear at social functions, managed to convey to them that this dinner was being run on strictly conventional lines. He was, indeed, an altered Toad. After this climax, the four animals continued to lead their lives, so rudely broken in upon by civil war, in great joy and contentment, undisturbed by further risings or invasions. Toad, after due consultation with his friends, selected a handsome gold chain and locket set with pearls, which he dispatched to the jailer's daughter, with a letter that even the Badger admitted to be modest, grateful, and appreciative, and the engine driver, in his turn, was properly thanked and compensated for all his pains and trouble. Under severe compulsion from the Badger, even the bargewoman was, with some trouble, sought out, and the value of her horse discreetly made good to her, though Toad kicked terribly at this, holding himself to be an instrument of fate, sent to punish fat women with mottled arms who couldn't tell a real gentleman when they saw one. The amount involved, it was true, was not very burdensome, the gypsy's valuation being admitted by local assessors to be approximately correct. Sometimes, in the course of long summer evenings, the friends would take a stroll together in the wild wood, now successfully tamed so far as they were concerned, and it was pleasing to see how respectfully they were greeted by the inhabitants, and how the mother weasels would bring their young ones to the mouths of their holes and say, pointing, "Look, baby, there goes the great Mr. Toad, and that's the gallant water rat, a terrible fighter, walking along a him. And yonder comes the famous Mr. Mole, of whom you so often have heard your father tell. But when their infants were fractious and quite beyond control, they would quiet them by telling how, if they didn't hush them and not fret them, the terrible grey Badger would up and get them." This was a base libel on Badger, who, though he cared little about society, was rather fond of children. But it never failed to have its full effect. The end. And then a blank page. So that was The Wind in the Willows. I think the moral of that story was that the toad learned humility by the end. Yeah. I suppose we might as well do a little bit of time reversal. While we're not busy with anything, because we can't exactly go off and do anything at the minute. So we may as well get a little bit of reversal going, just to give us a little bit more time to mess around with should we go exploring again. I'm thinking it's been a while since we've been up to what's it called? The tower right up at the top with the bird. It's been a while since we what have we not done for a while? I suppose what we could do is go and stand by the spider's web and see if we can, with a mushroom, and see what happens if we just wait. Our time has stopped going back. Because this game is all about waiting, maybe it'll let us down if we just wait. Who knows? It might do nothing. We might accidentally eat the mushroom. In fact, that's almost a guarantee that I will eat the mushroom, now that I think about it, because the same button that starts the recording is also that starts and stops the recording is also the one that is used to do things in the game, because control will also click the crosses on the little pop-ups as you do things. So yeah, maybe that won't be successful. We might as well get all the way up. Right, we're as far back as we're going to get. We may as well have a look at what books we still need to read. We've read the first two, Thus Spoke Zarathustra's, and the third. We read the first set of the Iliad, which I think that should be I-VIII, because it's chapter 8, or part 8, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we're going to read this one, to be quite honest. I don't think I'm going to continue reading the Iliad at any time soon. We've read The Raven. I'm not reading this, although the fourth and last part, we have read the first three, so maybe we will read Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Just finish it off. Yeah, okay, we'll do that at some point. We will finish off Zarathustra. We've read the Fables, Three Tales, Golden Bird. Iliad is still quite a lot. Morella is quite short, we might do that one. Again, same with Ligeia. Pym, I have no idea about. Hans Pfahl. It's not too long, so we might think about doing that one in the future. We've done the Time Machine. The Secret Garden would be interesting, I think. I think I read it in year 5. So like 9 years old or something. 9 or 10. Not reading Monte Cristo. Way too long. I still need to figure out the Never-Ending Notebook. Read Poe's poems. Secrets of the Moss Carpet. Just finished The Wind in the Willows. Read King Pest. Dream Days. Oh, also by Kenneth Grahame. Maybe we'll read that one as well. Oh, and The Golden Age. Okay, yeah, we'll potentially read both of these as well. I didn't realise they were Kenneth Grahame. Maybe pushing it for length. I do want to read The Sleeper Awakes, though. We've read that one. We'll think about The Anatomy of Melancholy. So there are still plenty for us to read. So don't worry about it ending anytime soon. I do also have drawings to do. We've still got to finish the last riddle of the face. And eventually think about waking the king. Now, I'm not sure if I am going to wake the king, to be quite honest. I'm undecided, but we'll cross that bridge when we actually get to it. We've got a lot of other things to do in the meantime. So, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.